the end of the day, after like an insane busy day yesterday, no one had even opened the packet. So I was just like, there's this packet opening inertia, and so I cracked it open, and we have now the first taker. I restricted myself to 2 biscuits. I thought that was sort of wise. This is very exciting, guys. I don't know how. We should have some more Royal Welsh people arriving on their way. Brilliant. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to have you. Thank you for coming. So, how much playing has anyone done this morning? Yes, and that's why we're going to have a great warm-up, because we all feel like we haven't started yet, so that's fine. Like a level playing field. So, if you two are learning with Kai, were you learning with Oscar before Kai? See, I know all about you already. It's worrying, isn't it? I know everything. That's cool. So you've just started since this term with Kai. Brilliant. And what are you playing at the moment? Can you remember what pieces are you doing? Grade 6. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, the Taro. Oh, that's a beautiful piece. Really beautiful. I really like the opening. But some hard bits, right? It's not so easy, but really good to do. What about you? Wow, grade 4. And what pieces have you got? Is that your favourite one out of the ones you've done so far for grade? Oh, okay. That's brilliant. Good. So you're all ready to rock and roll. So do you know what I'm going to say? For the moment, do you want to decamp over there? I'm sorry to sort of like throw you from chair to chair, but that might be quite helpful because I can then see you all a little bit more. That's great. And we are actually going to start with guitars down. So Aaron, you might even want to grab your case and then you can pop your guitar safely. You can pop your guitar safely. You can put your case in front of you if you want. Beth, that might actually be good. I have a microphone, Luke. That's it. It's going to be, this is how I want to do all my lessons from now on. This is the microphone in 1, 2, 4. Paula! Hello! Oh, that's okay. Do you want to go over there? That would be awesome. Thank you very much. If we have more people coming, do we have access to more chairs? If we need more chairs, are they quite readily? Brilliant. To start, okay, brilliant. Where's the rest of my gang? Right, well, we're going to start. They're going to have to come and join in. Okay, so actually, does everyone want to just quickly tune up? You guys are sorted. Let's just check E's. I'll check mine as well. Are you in tune, Carwyn? Tell you what, I'll go first, then you play your E's. How about that, so we can hear me first? Good morning, everyone. Great. There's always one. Well, welcome everybody to our Royal Welsh big breakfast warm-up. We had a really big day yesterday here with our Tant festival, so I think everyone, I don't know, are we in sort of like slightly gentle mode to start with? I think would be nice. Beth's nodding. Okay, so what I'd like us to do first of all is actually put the guitars down. I know that's unhelpful when I've asked you to tune. because I think what I'd like to do is just get some of our hands warming up. Come on down, come and join us. Now, some of my students who are here will know that I have slightly weird things and images and pictures in my brain a lot of the time. I'm going to be sharing some of that strangeness with you because it helps me remember stuff. That's the main thing. So we're going to do a little hand warm-up to start with, which has a little bit of a seaside, beside the sea, underwater theme, just because that helps me remember it. So we're going to start with just sort of getting some of our fingers moving a little bit. And can you do the OK sign for dive buddies? Absolutely, that's really good. What I'm liking, I can see here, is you've got a really good round circle. So everyone try and imagine that round circle, because actually pressing down on our frets with the left hand, if you're using left hand, is a really good position on a tip there. So can you try now going through all of your fingers in turn? So right on the end of your thumb meets fingertip. Okay, and nice strong shapes, strong circles. Okay, then try the other hand. Harder with nails, if you're playing with nails. So like slightly dig your fingertip in. Okay. Okay, and then both. Do your sort of like gobbles. This is also really good if you're into gaming. Okay, just a little hand warm-ups are really fantastic. Okay, so that's my dive buddy, that helps me remember. So I'm now going to go full into Cardiff mentality with seagulls. Okay, there's a lot of seagulls here. I battle with them on a regular basis with my recycling. I like to have it. One of my students actually was walking down the road and had a bite taken out of a pizza by a seagull as he was walking down the road. So seagulls are a big thing for us here in Cardiff. So can you now make a seagull beak? Now this, I suppose, is not how we press down the frets on the guitar, but it's really good for our hands. Okay, so we've got that flat shape, and do it with the other one as well. And we're not squeezing them hard, we're just sort of getting, I don't know, can anyone feel it down here? Try them together. I can feel a little bit of a pull down there. Can you feel that? Yeah? No, but this, no, he would. He'd really like it, but not for playing the guitar. Okay, so that's our sort of seagulls. Now, go with me. We're now going into giant squid mode. I know this is a delight for everybody. So I want you to think of how a squid moves, which, if we're going to be really technical about it, because I looked this up, it has a very long tube inside it, which is called a siphon, which sucks water in, and then almost it moves by jet propulsion, because it squirts out the water and pushes it forward. So you're going to channel your inner giant squid. Okay, so while we're doing that, I want a guess about how long giant squids grow to. Come on, let's start the bidding. Beth, start the bidding. 4 meters, okay. Anyone, any advance or any less than 4 meters? What do you think, Paula? 40. Wow. I wouldn't like to go swimming with you. 40 meters. Aaron, what do you think? 3.8. Come on, Luke. I think you're the world authority on squid, aren't you? No. Oh. 11 to 14 meters. There we go, everyone. 11 to 14 meters. That's quite big. I mean, I'm not great at spatial awareness, but that's sort of like maybe the back of the stage. Do you think? A bit longer? Anyway, we've done enough squids. Well done, everybody. Okay, so this gets quite interesting now. So I'd like you now to think about a shell. It's like an oyster shell, which opens at the base. Okay, so it's sort of like this gentle stretch. So hinge at the base of your palms. Okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting, and everyone starts concentrating. So I want you now to do mini shells by hinging just a pair of fingers. So go from your thumbs, hinge them out and back again. Okay, then, yes, you're doing it already. Then try the other ones, just gently. We don't have to push them, but I want to see just that little stretch. Can you feel it in your fingers? Try the middle. I'd like to know afterwards who finds which pair of fingers hardest? Because usually, everyone finds one pair harder. Join us, Joseph. It's a little bit like a prayer, but, you know. Okay. Which pair, Carmen, do you find hardest to open? The ring finger, the third finger. Does anyone find anything middle harder to open? Does anyone find thumbs harder to open? Some people find thumbs. For me, it's definitely the third finger. I can't open that as much. Okay? All right, so just keep your fingers a little bit of a wiggle. Then the next one is winding up the anchor. Just go with me. Can you imagine you're holding a ball with all your fingers attached? Okay, so I mean like nice and rounded, so not straight. We're definitely holding a ball. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to do a winding up action with your thumb. So you're basically rolling your thumbs round. And when you've done it a little bit that way, can you roll it back the other way? Okay. This was a thing. This was a thing people used to sit and twiddle their thumbs. Have you heard that expression? Just sitting twiddling my thumbs. Okay, so thumbs are like easy. We're off on index fingers now. Okay. Yeah, the giggles start. And backwards the other way. It's really great. And if you really get a really nice rotation, so not just the tips, really try and do as much of your finger as possible. That's it. Everyone's concentrating. That's awesome. So put your index fingers back together. Now do your middle fingers. I love it that you guys are doing it too. That's so cool. You're really fast. That's brilliant. You've obviously got a good history of thumb twiddling. That's brilliant. Okay, third fingers. How are the third fingers going, guys? Amalia, how's third for you? Slow, yeah. And back the other way. Okay, and then the final one. Okay, so, I don't know. My fingers definitely feel that they've woken up a little bit more. Let's grab our guitars. I think it's probably a good thing to not underestimate how much we need to warm up our fingers before we do stuff. I think as you get older as well, I hate to be sort of like old here, you actually need to spend more time warming up as well, you know, just to get moving in the morning. Right, okay, let's have a little go. So I want to start with big movements, actually, and slightly unusual movements as well that maybe you don't ever do. So we're going to start with a strum, but not in the right hand. Left hand. So I want you to try with your index finger, put your thumb behind the neck, and pull your... That's it, well done. We hardly ever do this. Okay, now try with your second finger. That's it. See how even? See if we can do it rhythmically. That's it, lovely. Third finger. So these are big movements. We're not pressing down a fret. We're just getting the finger to move. Okay, and a fourth. Harder? Yeah. I'm going to give you a top little test, guys. Let's see if we can get those fourth fingers to go not flat as we go across. Let's see if we can make them a little bit rounded. So if you were doing a descending slur or a legato, descending legato, that's it, well done. Okay. Other hand. We're going to go down. So it's just, we're going to go to the back of the finger. It's going to sound a little bit more naily for those of you who have nails. But let's have the outward movement, because that's really important as well. Okay, all through your fingers. Can you also use pinky? I know we don't use pinky, but if you think about it, that's, my maths is working, it's 20% of your hand that we don't use. It just sits there. I always think it's like, a bit like a toddler who sort of wants to play with the other kids and just has to tag along and doesn't actually do anything. So let's do the little finger. Actually, let's do 5 or 6 of those. Really feel it flicking out. That's it, really good. Can you keep your hand stiller so it has a little bit of movement? That's it, and so we really feel that's flicking out. Try the third finger again, finger A. That's great, Aaron. Finger M, I, and then thumb. Okay, fantastic. How about now we alternate? So we're going to just use the fingers of the right hand and the fingers of the left hand. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see I'm going through finger 1 here, and then the I finger. Finger 2, and then the I finger, finger 3, and then the A finger, finger 4, and then the E. Should we go? If we can do it together, that would be really great. Should I count us in? So something like 1, 2, 3, 4. So finger 1, finger I, finger 2. Very good, guys. Okay, quick flip of our universe around. Let's do up and up. You're just like, no. Let's try it. We'll do it slowly. Ready, go. Up and up. Up and up. Up and up. And up and up. How did it feel? So-so? All right? Yeah? One more time, let's just do that. It's really great. If you think about flamenco players, they do so much rasgueado, so that sort of idea of flicking the fingers out. And that's a training of your hand going this way as well as coming in for sort of classical. We spend so much of our hands going inwards. It's a really great thing to sort of get flexibility and actually help our coordination. Okay, one more time. So flicking up, ready, play, and up, up. Up, 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 up. Fantastic. Okay, so we've done some big movements with the hands. My hands definitely feel more alive. Do yours? Yes, really good. So I think what I'd like to start with now is making a fretted note with the left hand, but I want us to really be conscious of how little pressure we actually need to make a clean note. So back to my crazy images. This is called the slow emerging chicken. Okay, so we are going to try and cluck on our guitars by choosing a fret, and you can choose any fret. I'm going to say I sort of feel quite drawn to the third string today, personally, but you could try the first string. You can choose any fret on a guitar, although I would also say it's really handy to have something sort of close to where you put naturally your arm from your side. So we're trying not to strain or stretch. So the idea is you're going to choose a fret and we're going to play it without pressing the string down. And then we're incrementally, just bit by bit, going to start pressing down, and you stop the moment you had a clean note. And then you're going to do the opposite, which is harder. So you're going to let it go till it starts buzzing, and then a silent cluck. Okay, try a different finger. You can try a different note, a different string. So again, that idea of really being conscious of how your finger's on its tip. You're going to position it really, really, really well. That's brilliant. That's really fantastic positioning. And you're going to just squeeze gently. We're going to have some awesome chords. Oh, yeah, very Halloween. And then release the pressure again, but let it buzz. Well done. Try the third finger, different string. Try something low. Everyone go down something with a thumb. Good. And then pinky. Fourth finger somewhere. I would do my best chicken impression, but I'm a little bit nervous to do that. That's it. Well done, guys. Is anyone surprised about the pressure that you need to make a clear note? I feel a lot of the time when we're trying to play something really hard, we sort of like squeeze, we really grip the guitar. And actually to make a nice, clean sound, there's really not an awful lot of pressure. So I think it's a really good thing to reconnect sometimes with actually how little you need to do it. Okay, the slow merging chicken is done. We are now going to do some rock climbing. And what's the one rule about rock climbing we all need to remember? Don't fall off, don't let go. Okay, that would be, you always have to keep something in contact with the rock. I'm imagining the minimum is one limb, probably a hand. So, the rock climbing is going to be, we're going to all start on the same fret, I think, which is going to be fret 7 on string 1. And the idea is we're going to use a pair of fingers, and we're going to play string 1, fret 7, and then string 2, fret 8, and keep both of those fingers down. So we end up a little bit like a doorbell. Then 2 is going to hold on. So 2's clinging onto our rock. We're going to move finger 1 to string 3. Okay, so finger 1's now clinging to your rock. You're going to move finger 2. You've got it. Well done. You've got it. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to make some good parameters here. Fingers on their tips, really well positioned. This is not a race. This is about controlling how your fingers go down on the fretboard. So we're going to go all the way down to the 6th string, then we're going to turn around and come back. We're going to try and do it together. So just lots of space. So something like 1, 2, 3, play. So finger 1, finger 2. And look at how that movement is going. Then back up to 5th string, then 4th. Good. Well done. Easy? Yeah. Easy? Yes. Fingers 2 and 3? Not so easy. Okay, let's have a go. Same thing. So really slow. The idea is precision placement. It is not speed. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start on fret 8 now. So fret 8 with finger 2. We start the same, so we're going to start on this note. Ready? 3 and 4 and. So finger 2, now finger 3, now move finger 2, now move finger 3, now move finger 2, now move finger 3. And back we go. Really try and control finger 3. Good. I think finger 3, for me, is the finger that misbehaves if I leave it unattended. Often people think it's finger 4, but actually there's such a big difference between 3 and 4 that if finger 3 doesn't go down well, finger 4 has no chance, generally. So let's do that again. Let's do finger 2 on the top string. Here we go. Ready, and. That's it. Some great positioning going on, guys. And back we go. Fantastic. You guessed it, finger 3 and finger 4. I'm going to start on fret 9. Here we go, 3 and 4 and. So get those finger 3s really well positioned. Which pair did you find hardest? The second and the third. What about you, Aaron? 3 and 4 harder. Carvin? They were all the same for you. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so we're now going to go to snake, which is like one of my favorite exercises. You know snake, don't you, Paula? You remember snake? Okay, so snake is sort of, I'm looking at the shape of the snake as it sort of, I was going to say slithers. It feels a little bit, mean to snakes. I don't know. That sort of curvy zigzag sort of pattern. So we're going to look at using finger 1. Oh, actually, finger 1 is going to be on string 2, fret 1. Then finger 2 is going to be on fret 2, string 1. Did I say that the wrong way around? String 2, fret 1. for finger 1. String 1, fret 2 for finger 2. Then finger 3 is going to do string 2, fret 3. And then string 1, fret 4. So we have this sort of like zigzaggy shape, okay? So we're going to do it really steadily all together, just those 4. So starting with finger 1 on string 2. 3 and 4 and. Good. If you can hold all of them down, that's great. If you feel you need, because it's right at the bottom of the guitar, you've got a little bit more stretch going on. If you need to release fingers 1 and 2, that's fine. So the pattern is going to be, we're going to make quite a long snake. So we're going to do finger 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to shift and we're going to put the pattern again. So really feel that sort of, that movement of the forearm straight up. So we end up on string 1, string 2, fret 5. And we do the same thing, and then all the way up to fret 12. If you get lost, try and join in on a shift. So we're going to be first position, 5th position, and then we're going to be up in 9th. Okay, here we go. We're going to try it all together. 3 and 4 and. Well done. And then shift up to 9th. Okay, let's do that again. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 1. Now, big shift with that forearm. Really make sure that's your engine. Okay, very good. Can we go backwards? So we're going to play the top note again, and we're going to go backwards. So we're going to go through finger 4, finger 3, finger 2, finger 1. Let's do it a little bit slower. It's a bit harder going back. Ready? 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. We're going to snake all the way up and all the way back down. What you have to remember is you play the top note twice. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and. Now shift to 5th. Now top note twice. Good, and back down. Very good. Okay, so this is where we start separating out. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you're going to use not strings 1 and 2, you're going to use strings 3 and 1. Okay, so you're going to start with finger. Everyone's going, I'm going to do it. Okay, shall we try it together? If you don't want to do that stretch at the moment, you can stick to strings 1 and 2. Okay, let's have a little go. So this is going to just give us more of a stretch in both directions. So don't forget, if you find it hard to hold all of those fingers down, you can let the first finger go. Okay, let's have a go. Ready? 1 and 2, go. And we're going to immediately try and go straight back down. So top note again. Very good. One more time. Dare we go a tiny bit faster? Dum, two, da, da, something like that. Let's try. 3 and 4, go. Good. So you could go further. You could try with string 1 and string 4. I mean, you could, if you wanted, do the crazy string 6, string 1. it's not something that I feel at this point in the morning I'd want to do. You could, especially if you find this type of thing hard. It's the idea of putting your third finger on the bottom and getting your fourth finger sort of tucked in underneath. So it's quite a good one, but I think by that stage, you'd have to release fingers. You wouldn't keep them all held down, so you'd be working a bit more in pairs. Okay? So, thinking about sort of different movements of the hand now, we're now going to try a little bit of a staircase pivot. So I want you to imagine, we're going to start on fret 5. I want you to imagine that we've got a set of stairs. So finger 1 is on fret 5, string 1. Finger 2 goes on fret 6. Finger 3 on fret 7. It's quite cool. Okay, so this is going to be looking at how, as we change hand shapes, we're going to do what I call the reverse staircase. For any Harry Potter fans, this is like the moving staircases type of idea. So can you try that? Can you try putting your staircase with finger 1 on fret 5, then build your staircase going, if this is going up, depends how you see it. I think that's a going up. And then I think of this as a going downstairs. So what I want you to be conscious of is what happens to your elbow? What can happen to your elbow or your hand position? What happens to your elbow, Beth? Yeah. Can you see that little bit? Rather than just doing it within the hand, I mean, you could. It just feels that we need a bit of help. So really feel how your hand position is changing, the orientation. You could try. That's it. And thinking about how you get those fingers nice and strong. So, can you all now try to change in midair? So, what I can see some of you doing, because I understand exactly why, you're building up. How about you try in midair to imagine the pattern before it goes back down. Do you want to have a little go? So we'll take a lot of time. So actually we don't have to do this together. So take whatever time you have to build the shape in midair before you put it down. Let's have a go. Start with the going up staircase. Ready? And. Now, hover your fingers, imagine. That's it. And feel how the elbow is a slight pendulum. That's it. Well done. Well done. So thinking about those third fingers especially. That's it. And if the third finger gets rounded and facing the fretboard, the fourth finger has much more chance of getting there. Yeah, Aaron. So for you, try not to stick the wrist, trying to get the fingers to do some of that work. Otherwise, if we do that, we're putting more strain there. Okay, good stuff. So we've done a fair bit on the left hand. We're now going to do something on the right hand, which is crossed wires, which is not a snare drum effect, but that's quite cool. Crossed wires, what I want us to practice now is, if I said to some of you, what was negative string crossing? What does that mean? Do you guys know? Have you heard that term before? It's sort of that idea of this is sort of like our normal way. If you think about finger I on string 2 and finger M on string 1, negative for me is the other way round. And we have it in scales and all sorts of things that we actually sometimes have to put a finger inside. It sort of has to come down onto the string below when it's not maybe so natural for our hand. So it's quite a good thing to practice. So I think probably what I'd like you to do, I mean, you can do it let's do it on open strings, just so we can give our left hand a rest. I'd like us to pluck I on string 2 and M on string 1. In fact, if you would like to rest your thumb on string 3 or string 4, you can do that as well. Then I want you to reverse the pluck. So, can you pluck I on string 1 and M on string 2? That's it. Then can you alternate? Can you go I and M, other way around? So positive, negative. That sounds really wrong thing to say. They feel different, don't they? Okay. So just like as we did, if you feel that quite comfortable for you, try it with finger M and A. So M and A on string, so M on string 2, A on string 1. Then try and reverse that round. So you've got that sort of little bit of odd. That's it. So what I'd like us to sort of think about is how our right hand moves from this bottom knuckle joint. I always think it's a little bit like a sort of some sort of JCB scoop. That idea that our fingers are, we've got our hands in the position that our fingers can move inside the hand. So it has a nice sort of, you can even put your hand, sort of like, put your left hand on and feel that movement. That's actually a really good thing to feel, not a pull up. Yeah, so you feel it's coming from that bottom knuckle there and it's going in. That's it, that's great. I quite like feeling that. That's it, so put your hand, so almost like imagine, yes, you're covering. So can you see that line there? I can really feel what's going on with my knuckles there. Have a look, that's it. So that's it, that reverse. So if you feel you've got that really nicely, why don't you do a different combination? So you could try I and A. I and A is a great combination for fast finger work as well. It's a good thing to train. So I and A together and I and A backwards. Then try separating it out. So it gets harder when you have a bigger space between the strings. So why don't you go back to your favorite finger pair and then have a look at maybe playing string 1 and string 3. So that sort of like that. That's it, Aaron, you got it. That's great. But really, can everyone see how much they can do as a good, so not pulling out, really stroking through. If you want to sort of go back to feeling how that feels, that's it. So you can see this sort of like natural curve, and I think it's really good to have a little think about how your fingers hang normally. When our fingers hang by our sides, they tend to have a natural curve. Yes. No, very few people, unless you're a soldier, I think probably march with you don't walk around with a straight hand. Okay, we have this sort of like curve round. So working with what you naturally have in your hand is a great place to start. So think about sort of the center of your hand being the center of your work. So that idea, if we sit back here, we can't move in very easily. So we've got to have an angle where your fingers can move from the base there. So have another go. Find your favorite finger pair, and then try, you might even, if anyone's brave enough, you might like to try string 4 and string 1. That's like super weird. And you can try it with I and A. Just feels, I don't know, what do you think, Beth? It feels like those are odd, but it's quite a useful thing. Very good. Okay, so we've warmed our fingers up a little bit. I thought what might be quite nice is to do a little bit of a rhythm game now and put that into some notes on the guitar. So we're going to see if you can copy this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. I'm going to do it slower. So I'm adding 1 each time. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to try putting that in guitar in a minute, but let's just practice the pattern a couple more times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay, who's confident about playing a C major scale up to the note G in 5th position? Can we try that first of all? So starting with C on string 3, fret 5, then finger 3 on a D, then second string, finger 1, then finger 2 is our F, and then finger 4 is our G. Let's just get used to that. So if we think about sort of left-hand finger terms, 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, okay, and then backwards, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. Okay, so the challenge is we are going to build up the pattern we've just done on the rhythm with those 5 notes of C major. So it's going to go like this. I'm going to do it really slowly. It's going to go C, C, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, C, D, C. So we're adding one each time. So C, C, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, should we try it together? Okay, nice and slowly, so we've got time to think about it. So 3, 4, C, C, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, C, D, C. Good. Fantastic. Let's try that again. 3 and 4 and C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, C, D, C. Okay, fantastic. A little bit faster. Let's see if we can find sort of like a musical sort of shape there as well. So as we get higher, we're going to really feel we go to that top G. Let's try 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C, C, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, C, D, C. Good, fantastic. So I'm going to ask you two. Da 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 dee da 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 da. We start again. So you're going to do a slow C major bass for us. Okay, we're going to do the business end of this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And start again. Okay. Ooh. You. And you. Sorry, that was very rude. Can we see if we can do the offbeats? So, actually, I'll tell you what, you're going to do the offbeats, you're going to go back onto the onbeats. So can you do the C major? Just first position, nice and slowly. Amalia, you could do that as well. Can you go? So you play that, and you guys in the middle are going to go a little bit there. Can you see if you can go on the offbeats? Okay, so we're just going to go round. I'm going to build it up. So, can we have the scale first of all? Actually, maybe we'll do all of you. Can we do our rhythm? And you're going to do the scale up, and I'm going to bring you guys in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Good. Okay, we're all going to swap. So, you guys are going to be the offbeats. So you can start with the C here, but then okay. You guys are going to be the bass this time. So we're going to start with a C major. So it's going to be first position, just nice and slow. C, D, E, then F. That's right. Then G, then A, then B. C. Okay? And you guys are going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's start with your basses, aren't you? Let's start with you guys, and then I'm going to bring you in for the offbeats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, fantastic. Okay, everyone now does the one part they haven't done. So you're going to do this little offbeat. So you're going to start on string 3, fret 5. Then you're going to jump the top octave. So you're going to jump to fret number 8, string number 1. Can you find that one? That's it. That's it. So finger 1 on, that's it. And then put your fourth finger on string 1. Fret number 8. Can you find fret number 8? That's it. Well done. So it's going to be 1, 4, 3, then 1. Good. That's it. Then 4. You guys have got this as well? Yeah. Then 2. Then 1. Then 3. Then 1. Okay. So we're going to start. What are you going to do? You are, which one haven't you done? You've done everything, haven't you? Which ones haven't you done? Have you done everything? Not yet. This is the one you haven't done, right? Okay. So, in that case, can you be my basses? Can you be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s? Okay. And I'm going to bring you guys in when these guys get started. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Here we go. And 1, 4, 3. Very good. Okay, well done, guys. So it was just a little bit of a rhythm game as well to build that up. Can we just do one more time? Much faster. Let's try it. Pretty fast. Let's see how warmed up our fingers are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. Everyone on that bit. Everyone on the fast bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Really good. Well done. So, what I thought we'd do is just to finish off, we're going to do one of the sort of harder things sometimes for people, which is slurs, so ascending slurs. So we're going to start with, actually, let's go on fret 7. I want us to try finger 1, hammering on finger 2. So things I want you to remember is we're going to move that finger, we're going to throw it onto the guitar. It's quite a fast movement from the bottom here. In fact, you could, again, you know how we were feeling how our hands were moving before? You could do the same thing now. Grab your hand here, your left hand, and just feel that power. Okay, so the idea is these fingers are going to throw themselves on the guitar. And it's a fast movement. It's not a slow movement. Imagine if you're hammering a nail in with a hammer. The movement is quite sharp and fast. We don't sort of slowly put the hammer down with precision and put, it is a sharp movement. It's the same idea. It's why we call them hammer-ons, I suppose, in many ways as well, because we're describing the action. So the words for it often are hammer-ons, and the opposite is a pull-off. You can have ascending and descending slurs, or ascending and descending legatos. Okay, so different words for the same thing. So we're going to try to hammer on nice and evenly, rhythmically. You join in, that's great. And just look at your left hand and look at how your second finger's going down. And see, I'm going to keep your thumb behind the neck. That's it, because your finger's going to have a better, good. Now, we're going to actually go on a move, because we feel like we're static at the moment. We're going to go down. That's it. And can you go back up again? You guys good. And down again. Throw those fingers on. That's it. Okay. 1 and 3. Let's do a different combination. So that was really good. 1, 2, 3, play. Okay, so what I want you to concentrate on is not letting finger 1 come off afterwards. Hold it down and join the third finger to it. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. Okay, 1 and 4. Let's do it. So we're going to do a little bit slower for this. The movement is still fast, but let's take the challenge of the tempo down a little bit. What I'm looking for something that's not that. Okay, we don't really want the fourth finger to go in like some sort of stick. Can you just try it now? Just try positioning that fourth finger. That's it. That's beautiful. That's it. It looks really strong. So if you keep your thumb's up here, it makes it harder to do that. You sort of end up dragging your fingers away from the guitar. So keep that thumb sort of behind the neck like this. That's it. That's great. Okay, let's try. So let's try 1, 2. Oh, I'll put my time on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Hammer on. That's great. Fantastic. Okay, so let's try some other combinations. Because it's good. Slurs are not always convenient. They're not always going to fall on your favorite fingers, sadly. Oh, if life was so straightforward. Let's try 2 and 3. So again, think about this being the anchor finger. So the finger that you're holding down, first of all, is sort of the stable point. It's like anchored. And this, rather than feel we have to press really hard, it's about the throw, it's about the weight of the finger moving rapidly on. But really feel that you're pinning this down here gently enough to make the note. Here we go. Finger 2 and finger 3. 1, 2, 3, go. That's it. We should do it again. That was quite a nice one. I was in a trance of 2 and 3s. 3 and 4 and. And the thing about this, it's about accuracy. It's not about speed. It's about evenness of the rhythm. Very good. Okay. Oh, so yes, we're sort of like parting company. That sounds nice. 3 and 4. Should we do it? Okay, let's take it a bit slower. So that finger 3 has got to be good and secure. So really think about that idea of a curved, sort of like strong shape, like that. Really get the finger on its tip. Feel like it's a little person doing a headstand, or just putting your head on the floor, not your forehead. Okay, let's try 3 and 4. I don't know which frets everyone's on. Just pick a fret. Let's do something a little bit more dissonant. So finger 3, you've got finger 2. Do you want to pop finger? That's it. This is the mean one. That's it. Find a good neighbouring fret. It's obviously going to be nicer if you're on a higher fret because the frets are closer together. Should we have a go? It's going to sound a bit crazy. We're going to be on different frets. 1, 2, 3, go. Really get that, jump that 3rd finger each time. Well done. And then back. Well done. That was great. Keep on going. I'll join you in. Very good. Okay, so we could supersize this and do a little bit harder. So we could try a hammer on and a pull off. But we want to feel that pull, almost like plucking with the left hand. Okay, can we try it as a little triplet? This is sort of like jumping a couple of steps ahead, but I think we've just got time to fit it in. So we're going to go, because you're going to have to jump down each time with the 1st finger quite rapidly. We'll take it steadily, something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to lose some of the resonance, but the main thing is training the movement. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Jump, jump. And back up. Good, well done. We're speeding up. Okay, that's very good. Let's do it again. Maybe a little bit faster. And we were naturally sort of pushing that a little bit faster. Ba-dee-da-da-dee-da. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So what I can see, some of the pull-offs are what I would call lift-offs. So people are, if you're not careful, just lifting your finger off is not going to be enough to make that clear note. That's brilliant, yeah. So feel that you're pulling, almost like you're going over a speed bump of that string. Feel the resistance and pull out and down. Okay, can we try actually, because I think they need a bit of practice. Let's not do the triplet on and off. Let's just do the descending slurs. So quite steady. 1 and 2, go. Jump, jump, jump. Very good. So you find you do have to have both fingers down, right? As you jump. So you're jumping both fingers. You can't jump and then put the next finger down. That's it. Well done. Should we try it again? 1, 2, 3, go. Jump. That's it. Very good. Let's try it with finger 3 and 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, you've really got to position this fourth finger. Okay, let's do that one again. Oh, that's a little bit harder. I can see a few flat fourths, a little bit floppy sticks. So let's see if we can do that one more time, a little bit slowly. In fact, let's not do it in time with everyone. Do it a speed that works for you this time. But the things I'm going to say are, make sure your finger is absolutely correctly and optimally positioned before you do that. That's it. Okay, let's have a go. Everyone in their own time, go. Nice sound, huh? That's lovely. Okay, I think just to sort of finish off, we're going to try the 1, 4 hammer-on pull-off, just because that's a little bit of a crazy moment. So we're going to try together. Here we go. Something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, go. Jump. And one more time. Very good. Awesome, guys. That was a little bit of a few moments of different types of things you can practice. Certainly, stepping up some of the things you do, so starting slow and gentle, and then maybe starting with your snake and then extending the stretch that you do, sort of this way as well as along, is a really good thing. But definitely think about what you can do to build in bits of that for your practice every day. Especially legatos are a great thing to train. And often I find with the weakest thing for people technically is their descending version. That's when you do the triplet version, then it just gives you a little bit of practice as well, and you're having a little bit of time to stabilize what it feels like to put it on and then put it off. Great stuff. Thank you all so very much. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I can only recommend the Royal Welsh breakfast wrap in the highest possible terms. Bacon? Are they serving today? I don't know. Probably not. No. Oh, you see. We all have to go out for breakfast now. Thank you very much, guys. That was really well done. Lots of things covered.